am back for another video. So today's video, I'm going to be doing a quick Q&A. I actually don't know how quick it's gonna be, but I'm doing a Q&A video to answer some of you guys' questions. I know there's been so many things that everybody wants to ask me. A lot of questions about Rod, a lot of questions about just everything in general. And I poured me up a little drink, and it's actually kind of been sitting here for a while. So you grab your coffee, you grab your wine, whatever time you're watching this, whatever appropriate time of the day you're watching this. And I asked you guys to ask me some questions, both on Instagram and on YouTube community tab. So I might answer your question today. So this first one, I'm gonna just read. It's not a question, but it got 23 likes. So it was on my community tab. So I'm gonna go ahead and just read it because I wanna speak on this just a tad bit. This person says, I don't have any questions, but I wanted to say you're an awesome mom. Thank you. I notice usually when a family/mother has a large number of kids, the children end up helping raise their siblings. And I have not once seen your older children lose any of their childhood by being forced to care for their siblings. It makes me happy to see a mother and father, Rod, taking care of their children and kids being kids. I admire you because I only have one and it's a struggle, LOL, but you do it with so much grace. So first of all, I just want to say thank you, because thank you. Like, I love that comment in general, because that is actually one of the things that was really, really important to me, like to make sure that my kids have a childhood, they have their freedom, and that they're not forced to care for my younger kids. Now, do I ask them to help out? Sure, I'll be like, hey, go get me this, go do this, watch your sibling for just a moment while I do this. But it's not their job at the end of the day. They're my kids. It is really, really important for me for them all to have a childhood, to have fun, to be carefree, because just like that, they're gonna be grown, paying bills and having responsibilities. But anyway, y'all, so I really love that comment because I thought that was really special. So thank you so much for that. So the next question, I'm kind of going in order, y'all. This is actually a few questions in one comment. So the first question was, how is the process going towards being able to purchase your new home? Starting to get some help from some other places like NACA, and there's another one. And so I'm trying to go through some of their first-time home buyer programs to be able to get a house. It's lengthy. It seems like it might take a while, but you gotta start somewhere. So that's all there is to it. I'm starting. Hopefully, God willing, I will be buying a house of our own sooner rather than later. But I'll keep you guys updated. Hi, Chrissy. Being a woman is a lot, and being a mom and companion is a job, and you're great at all three. Thank you. If you could have an ideal weekend to yourself without your partner and your beautiful children, what would you do? What would you do first, and what would you do to top it off? So the first thing that I would do is leave this house. Like, I love my kids. I do. I love them to death. Oh my gosh. I love my family, but I would leave. I would leave this house, leave and go far away. But I would leave this house, and does that count as first? No. But I would either take a flight and go on a trip somewhere, just a day trip or a weekend trip, just by myself, and just go to a beach or go somewhere where I can just relax, even if I'm just in a hotel or whatever, where I can just relax and just be with myself. Like, if I'm gonna stay in the city, I would say I would leave the house and probably go to a spa and get a massage, maybe have a nice lunch to myself, and just relax and just like take that time to just breathe and just breathe and just be with myself in quiet and peace. Oh my gosh. And I think to top it off, I would just go and spoil myself, do a little shopping, get my nails done, my feet done. Go sit in the park or by like a stream of water. I love water. Sit by some water and just like sit. And I love nature, and just like breathe in air and just like be, just exist for a moment. You know what I'm saying? That's what we don't get a lot as mothers. We don't get time to just like exist because we're always doing something or responsible for something. Anyway, Mother's Day is coming up, and I ain't saying, you know, I ain't throwing no hints, but I'm throwing a whole bucket of them, you know what I'm saying, at the same time, okay? Okay, so this next one is a really good one. What was your thought process or emotions each time you found out you were pregnant, especially the first time? So the first time I found out I was pregnant, I was 17 years old. So I was a child, okay? I was a little girl. I didn't know anything about anything. I didn't know anything about my body, really. I didn't know half of the things that I thought I knew. When I found out I was pregnant, I had this rash on my back. And I had had that rash for a couple of weeks. But before that, I tried to jump on my baby daddy, but we ain't gonna talk about that. But he just made me so mad. Like, I was just so angry all the time. I was real snappy, real snooty, really short-tempered. But I had a rash on my back that just kept like itching and aggravating me, and no creams would work. And I just told my mom, I was like, I have this rash on my back. And so she took me to the doctor, and while we were there, she's like, yeah, I want her to get a pregnancy test because I had been like snappy and snooty and like stuff like that. And I'm like adamant that I'm like not pregnant, like nothing, like, you know, whatever. So they gave me a test or whatever. The doctor comes in, the test is negative. She prescribes me a cream for my back and sends me to the next door, the next building over in the hospital, to go to the pharmacy to pick up my prescription. So I'm literally standing in there waiting on my prescription, and the pharmacist calls out and she says, Christina? I'm like, yeah. And she's like, hey, the doctor just called about we can't fill your prescription. You need to go back over to the main clinic real quick. And I was like, what? That doesn't make any sense at all. Then why do you just prescribe it to me if you can't prescribe it to me? Why I gotta go back? So I went back over there. We're sitting in the waiting room. She calls me in the back without my mom. And then she calls me in the back without my mom, and she's like, well, do you want your mom back here for this? And I was like, lady, what is going on? Like, am I finna die? Like, do I have some type of terminal illness? What's going on? You just said I was good to go, gave me a prescription, I went across the street, now I gotta come back. What's going on? I said, yeah, I want my mother in here, absolutely. And she's like, yeah. So she goes and gets my mom. My mom comes in. My mom's like, she's thinking the same thing. I'm thinking, like, what is going on? And then she said, yeah, you know that pregnancy test we gave you? Yeah, well, it turned positive when you left. I was like, y'all should have seen the look on my face. I was like, tears, and like it was just shock. I was just shocked. Like, huh? I feel like my mom like knew. Like, she's like, I basically like I knew something was going on. But me, I was like, huh? Like, what in the hell? So it was a lot to take in. It was a lot to take in. So that's how I found out with my first one, with Cadence. Now, with each and every one, you would think that you would be like, oh, okay, well, after 9 kids, you think like after like the 5th one and the 6th one and the 7th one, that you'd be like, oh, this is nothing. Like, oh, I've done this 5 or 6 times by now, it's good. Like, no, every single time I found out I was pregnant, I was like shocked and dumbfounded every single time, even though I know exactly what happened and how it happened, or how I got to that point. I'm still standing there with the test in my hand like, huh? Like, it's real? Like, it wasn't in my head? Like, this is really what's happening right now? What? How? Like, I wasn't even there when it happened, when I really was. Okay. So basically that was my reaction. Shocked. Never like disappointed, but just like, really? How? Like, or like, even if I knew in my heart of hearts, like, damn, I feel like I might be pregnant, and take a test and it's positive. I'm like, what? How is that even possible? You know what I'm saying? I just like just acting shocked and surprised every single time. That's that. Don't judge me, okay? Because it's the truth. I'm just telling y'all the truth. You asked, I'm telling you, okay? Okay, next one. Hey, Chrissy, if you weren't a CC, content creator, what would be your dream job? I say something in-house decor for sure. It's amazing to see how you can put something together from a whole room to something as simple as a charcuterie board. So first of all, thank you. Second of all, my dream job would probably be a therapist or a psychiatrist, or in that type of field. I always loved psychology when I was like very, very small. I liked law. I liked two things when I was growing up. I liked law and I liked psychology. When I was younger, my mom was in school full time and we lived like on campus. They had like student housing for people who were like not like college age, but like still had families and went to school. And so we lived on campus on, you know, student housing. So we would go to the library and I would get these law books and I would read law books and I would read psychology books. So when I got older, when I got done with school, I went to college and I wanted to major in business and then do like a minor in psychology, and then I would switch my major to psychology, but I didn't finish. So if I wasn't a content creator and I actually finished school, I would probably do psychology so I could be some sort of therapist or something, just because that always interests me, how people think, how minds work. Yeah, that just always was an interest for me. I'm still interested in it to this day. So if I ever do decide to go back to school, it might be for something like that. I do like interior design, but I watch some content creators that I feel like are so much better than me when it comes to that. Like I do a little something, I can put a little room together and make it nice and put together, but I feel like there are people who just do amazing jobs online, and I'm just like, wow, you know, that's amazing. I wouldn't have never thought of that. So do I feel like I would be the best for that job? No, but I feel like if I was educated and had a degree in psychology, I think I would be damn good at that. Or being an attorney, but an attorney is never was really my thing. I had an interest in law, just to know what the laws were and stuff, but I had a more interest in like the brain and like how things worked and stuff. So this one is, hey Chrissy, wait, hold on. Hey Chrissy, I hope this question makes it to you. But when you were a single mother, how did you juggle motherhood, work, and dating? So, girl, it's time to take a sip on that one. Motherhood and dating is like, it's like, I don't even know what analogy to place on this, but like motherhood and dating is like, I don't know, a needle in the haystack. I have no idea, but it's I can't think of a proper analogy right now, but it's very, very difficult trying to juggle everything, because I honestly, this is a whole nother, I feel like this could be a whole nother video or a whole nother discussion. Bit. Please. No.
Moments like this are a little easier when it's easy to put nutritious food on the table.
Obi-Wan. Anakin Skywalker is alive.
Darth Vader is iconic, regal, intimidating.
So we're gonna put a gigantic Darth Vader in Times Square so the world can see him in all his glory.
LG Display is incredibly excited to collaborate with Lucasfilm and ILM in recreating this iconic character with OLED.
So we tried to conceptualize a bunch of ideas of what Vader could be doing, and at the end of the day we realized just the image of him up there, surrounded and shrouded by smoke, is iconic in itself.
For a character whose wardrobe is entirely...
But I honestly feel like it is super hard for single mothers to date. It's easy for anybody to date anybody, but it's hard to find like a good, solid person when you're a single mother. That is the hard part, because the market, I say the market, like the dating market is so like weird these days. It's like you have you know, your users, you have your undercover brothers, you have, you know what I'm saying? It's like you got a little of everything on the market, and it's like we as single mothers, I feel like it's harder for us to find real, legitimately good people who don't have a lot of baggage, who come with their shit together, you know, and who are willing to accept us for what we are and not try to use us. It's very, very hard. Let's just put it like that. It's very hard, I feel like, for us single mothers. It's very easy to find someone who doesn't work, who doesn't have a place to live, who doesn't have a car, who doesn't have anything to offer and comes with their own baggage. It's very easy to find someone like that. It's very, very hard to find someone who's a hard worker, who looks nice, who treats you and your kids good. It's a lot harder than it seems. So I would say, how did I juggle it? I just did, but I waited until I was ready, until I felt like I wanted to juggle it. I would do it only when I was convenient, and I would talk. What I would do is I would talk to people that I felt I wanted to talk to, that I was drawn to or interested in. And before I rushed out to a date, I would talk to them for a while, however long you think is appropriate, or until I felt like, okay, I will let you take me out on a date or whatever. But I would talk to them, because 9 times out of 10, I will figure out which one is stupid. What I would say is juggling it is the kids come first, responsibilities come first, and then I date after that. So as long as the kids are good, once I feel through the BS that's out here and I find somebody worthy of dating, then I'll just date. And I would just do that when I had free time. It wasn't easy. I didn't have a lot of free time, but once you find someone that you want to date, you'll find a way to make the time. I hope I answered that question. Basically, I just dated in my free time when I could, and I tried to field out the waste of time people, even though I still wasted some of my time, because these men are getting good at lying. This one is, my question is, if it's not too late, what do you do to keep your mind right mentally? I know that you have been through so much. I know that you have to keep it together for those beautiful babies, but how do you maintain a healthy mindset? Well, thank you for asking that question. And I think mental health isn't talked about enough in the Black community and in general. And I think I can speak for a lot of us when I say, or damn near all of us, when I say COVID probably brought out a lot of the crazies. Meaning we were all in quarantine for such a long time. You know, we've all lost loved ones. We've all been through so much. And I feel like all of us who were just damn near teetering on the edge of depression and anxiety and just high stress and, you know, just whatever, that probably popped the bubble on a lot of us. You know what I'm saying? I, for one, think that my anxiety has gotten worse since COVID, just in the fact that I was always afraid of my kids catching it and getting sick, and one of us being very, very ill and passing away, or, you know, just the same fear that most of America had. Now I'm not as afraid, especially since we've had it, but I'm still very cautious. But still, you know, the damage is done for a lot of us, you know what I mean? So just life is crazy for all of us right now. My son's father's father passed away recently, and I had talked to him the other day and found out about it. And although I did not know his father personally, I felt really bad, because I don't know what it's like as a parent, thank God. And I know one day I will have to go through that, but I hope that it's not for many, many, many more years. But I can only imagine what it takes, you know, going through something like that. And so when I never really know how to handle when people lose people and how to address it, because I always feel like I don't know the right things to say, because I'm in my mind too much, and I think like, what the fuck can you possibly say to make somebody feel better when their parent is gone, no matter what type of relationship they have with that person, not with their parent or their relative. So I always feel awkward talking to people who have experienced loss. So the only thing that I can really ever say is, you know, and it depends on the comfortability I have with the person, but this person, obviously, we have a child together. So I just told him, like, you know, I'm sorry for your loss, and it's okay if you need to talk to somebody about this. And, you know, if you need to talk to someone, like, and I'm talking professionally, because the thing is that I feel like in the black community especially, but in general overall, I feel like there is some stigma against therapy and talking to a professional when you feel like you need help, when you feel like you're struggling mentally. And I don't really know why. I don't know if it's because we keep things in the family, and if it's the family's business, we keep it to ourselves. We don't want anybody judging us, and I don't really know where that came from or why that is, but I feel like that is so unhealthy. And I feel like if more people sought therapy, there would be a lot less issues in my community, which is the black community in general. And I know this is a worldwide thing, but I'm talking about in my community, it is very, very highly like not okay to seek therapy. And so I just told him it is okay if you need to speak to somebody professional, because loss and tragedy is hard on anybody, and it's okay to talk to somebody. And, you know, he opened up and told me the same thing, like, you know, I always, you know, I thought about it, and I've thought about it before in the past, but I just don't know how I feel about telling a stranger my business. And I just told him, like, I've sought therapy in the past, and just because I felt like I needed to at times that you guys don't even know about, when I just felt like I was gonna lose my mind if I didn't. Like, I just needed someone to talk to just to keep my head level and get a different perspective. And I was like, actually, it was nice talking to somebody who didn't know me personally, so I didn't have to worry about them judging me, because I don't know you in my personal circle. You're not my family, you're not a friend of mine. I probably won't ever see you again outside of this room, so whatever. But anyway, that's just a conversation I had with him, just kind of like telling him, like, it's okay. And honestly, I feel like it is important to tell our loved one, our friends and our family, that it's okay to talk to somebody professional, because sometimes talking to just a friend or a family member isn't enough. We don't know what to say, you know. So anyway, so what I do to keep my mental stability is, number one, I don't let my kids drive me crazy, because they try. And sometimes, some days they do drive me crazy. They're kids and that's what they do. But I feel like overall, recently, I have really realized that I just need to speak to somebody professionally, because I'm a mother of 9 children, and that's a lot. And I want to continue to be the best mother that I can be possibly for these 9 kids. Like, it is my responsibility to turn out 9 human beings. You know how, you know, when you think of parenting, you're like, damn, I got a whole nother one of me gonna be running out here in this world. I got a whole, like, 2 of me gonna run out here in this world. I have 9 of me running out in this world, who are gonna go out into this world, and I expect that they be nothing but greatness and nothing but the best parts of me. It can be overwhelming. Just the thought of trying to be the best constantly that you can be, and not always feeling like you are. Get into this, and it can take forever, y'all. But really, basically, what I'm trying to say is I have sought therapy for my overall mental health. And I think it's normal. I think it's healthy. And I think that it's normal and healthy for anyone to do it. And I feel like more people should do it, and we would be a lot better off. And I think it's provided me a lot more calm. It's provided me a lot more reserve lately, because it's easy for my anxiety to get built up, and it's easy for me to get overwhelmed, and it's easy for me to this or that. So it's been helping me tap into certain things. But anyway, so like I said, those are the things that kind of help me overall mentally. Next question: facial skincare and foundation recommendations, your skin is always flawless. So thank you so much. My skin is not always flawless. I am always fighting some sort of breakout, okay? I feel like I do have hormonal breakouts, and I do have a couple of different recommendations, but I'm gonna put that in a different video because it's too many. But I will say I do use, what is this shit called right here? Hyaluronic acid is one of my new favorites, but don't overdo it. That's one of my new favorites for skincare, and I use a sleeping mask now, so I've been putting it on my face at night. That and witch hazel have changed the game for me, girl. Okay, but we'll get into skincare and foundation and things in another video, but that's a little sprinkle for you, okay? You are doing a great job. God bless you and your family. Here's my question. Does your kids want to be social media influencers, or do they want to have a normal 9-to-5? So my son, Kingston, you guys know he's 11. He's in the 6th grade. He is deep into gaming. He's got the triple screen setup. He's got all of the gaming mouse and keyboards and all the equipment. I've invested thousands into his setup, and he is very, very serious about taking his. I do believe I spent the night at my friend's house a couple times, on a couple different occasions, but like hardly ever, and like very rarely, like only like really, really good, like our moms are best friends type thing, or like damn near family. In that type of situation maybe, but like I just don't feel comfortable really. But do I allow my kids to go outside and make neighborhood friends? Absolutely. My kids are outside playing all the time. My kids love to play. There's not that many kids in their age group in this little section of my neighborhood, but there are a couple few, and they are cool with them, and they do play. So I'd say yes. This person asked a few questions. So the first one was, how many kids do you want? Yeah, honestly, right now, I'm okay having the 9 that I have. That's a lot for me to take care of right now anyway. My sole focus is on them. I'm not really caring if I add another child to that or not. Somehow, me and the kids got on this topic of like kids and babies, and like when I told them I was pregnant with Onyx, I think they brought that up the other night. We had like this big family discussion about it, and Kittens was like, well, you gotta make it even, you gotta make it 10, and I think me and Kingston are both like, okay, nah, we good, like we good. Like, so am I open to one more? Like if I ever got pregnant again, I'd be like, okay, I'm not gonna be like, oh my God, this is the worst thing ever. But here's the thing, you guys, I'll be 32 years old this year. I am getting closer to 35. And because I've had a lot of children and different things, having a child after 35 just really isn't an option for me, because the risks of Down syndrome and just miscarrying and just all kinds of different like genetic issues and problems with pregnancy, for myself included, just raise up. So it's like, at this point, I'm kind of okay with where I'm at with the 9 that I have. I'm really okay with Onyx being my youngest child. If something ever changed and I were to have another child, it's going to have to be before I'm 35. Literally, if I'm not pregnant by 34, it ain't happening. And right now, I'm not really trying. So I don't even know. I don't see that happening, y'all. Okay, so we'll see. Tips and tricks on how to get your kids to get along and not fight. Girl, when you find the secret sauce for that, let me know. Because I don't know, I'm pulling my girls off each other all the time. The boys fight too. Blaze and Onyx just were biting each other earlier. I don't know what that was about. I have no idea. I'm in my office, minding my business. They're sitting in the playroom playing just fine. I can see them from here, and next thing you know, they're screaming and someone's on top of the other one, and I go and I'm pulling them off, and I'm basically holding them like this. One's here, and I'm like, cut it out, cut it out. You go here, you go there. You're separated now, okay? So when you find the secret sauce to get them to not fight, you let me know, honey, because I want that. But in general, when they do fight and they literally get physical with each other, there's punishments for that. And I'd be like, listen, she hit you because you hit her. That's common sense. You can't hit somebody, knock somebody upside the head and expect them to talk to you calmly. She gonna wanna fight at that point. So maybe you shouldn't have hit her upside her head, and she wouldn't want to slap you upside your face. But we shouldn't do that anyway. Next time, come find me, because I'm gonna be the only one who's allowed to do that type of stuff, okay? Not you guys, all right? So I'm just joking, but still, you know, I just try to talk to them and tell them, like, listen, just resort to other things. Remove yourself from that situation. I try to put my kids in common sense situations, like, listen, did that make any sense to you? If you were upset by something that they did and you were so upset that you hit them, what would make you think that you then hitting them would not then make them upset and want to start hitting you back? So you can't cry because they hit you because you hit them. And they can't, you know what I'm saying? And neither one of you can be upset because of the argument that first happened. Can we just all get along? You know what I'm saying? Kids are not rational. I've learned that being a parent. There's no rationalizing with these little terrorists. It's just not. They're not rational. I try every day though, endlessly. Like I said, if you find the sauce, let me know, sis. Do any of the kids, besides the ones who live out of town, have a relationship with their dad? And do they physically spend time with any of their dads? And do any of the dads feel a way about the kids being relocated? And are any of the dads' families, i.e. grandparents, involved in any of the kids' lives? This one had 19 likes, so I read it all. So I'm gonna answer it. So this was a pretty loaded question. So do any of the kids' dads who live out of town have a relationship physically and spend time with any of their kids? And in short terms, not really. A couple of dads who do come out here and see them. A couple of my kids will be going to visit their dads in whatever state their dad is in this summer. So I am sending some kids out this summer because I have finally gotten to the point in my life, in my parenting, where I'm like, okay, you're old enough now. You can go on frolic with your fathers for a couple weeks this summer, and then I'll see you back, and we'll still go do some fun things. So a few of my kids are going to go see their fathers for summer. Up until this point, I haven't had any of the kids leave the house, or had very many of the fathers come to my location for the kids. I would really love for their fathers to see them more. I'm not gonna name any names, but I do have some baby fathers that definitely do show up and show out. And I don't always talk about it, and I won't anymore online, but yeah. And then the grandparents thing, same thing. I have some of my kids' grandparents send them stuff on a regular basis and call and check up on them all the time and are really active. And then I have some that we don't hear from unless it's like a holiday or a birthday and stuff like that. So it just really depends on which family we're talking about here. First time I'm seeing this one. Interesting. How many streams of income do you have? How many hours of sleep do you get? Do the older kids help with the younger ones? You guys all ask like 15 questions per comment, but I love it. Okay, so this first one says, how many streams of income do you have? I'm working on 7, but I'm not gonna tell you exactly how many because I don't think that's necessary, but I definitely do have more than YouTube as a stream of income. I know people sometimes struggle with that, but that's honestly the reason why you don't see me on here really pressed. And I have the luxury of saying I don't want to vlog and stuff like that. It's not really a luxury because I really do need to be vlogging more. But what I'm trying to say is, even if I'm not on camera, I'm still making money doing something. Okay, let's just put it like that. The next one is, what is the hardest part about motherhood in your eyes? Protecting my kids from the evil that this world holds. And that's like the easiest way I can put it. I'm so protective over the evil that this world can hold. And I just want to shield them from that as much as possible, even though they're going to have to see it for their own eyes. And I do make examples of it when I do get a chance to show them, like, this is, not everybody's nice. Not everybody has your best interest at heart. And, you know, things like that. I don't cover them from the truth of things, but I think for all mothers, it's just scary knowing that we have to raise children in our safe little nest to go out into this scary, cold world where they kill our Black sons and they categorize our daughters and things like that. I think it's just scary because in this house, in our own little ecosystem, in our own little space, you know, it's not like that. It's a judgment-free zone. It's love, it's laughter, it's fun, it's safety. And when they leave this house, it's none of those things. So I think that for me is the scariest part of motherhood. So yeah. How do you find time for yourself? I only have 4 kids, and it's hard for me to have some alone time. When I do, it's always late and I'm tired by that time. I agree. Sometimes I only have time when it's late and I'm tired by that time. Like right now, I'm exhausted and I'm doing this Q&A video, but this is what I have to do. And excuse me, if that's the case, then I would say prioritize it into another part of your day, to where you just have no choice but to do it. I don't care if you have to get a sitter, drop your kid off at like one of those play, you know, I used to take Cadence in Kingston to these little, you know how they have those little play centers where you could just do like drop off care, and you can just like go run errands or do whatever you need to do for 4 hours or whatever. I don't care if you gotta do that, or if you gotta, you know, whatever, or just schedule it like during their nap time, or put your kid on a better schedule so that you can have more time and things like that. Just really make it a priority. If it's a priority, then you will make time for it, just like you make your child a priority and things for your child a priority, or things for your health a priority. You have to make your self-care a priority too. And sometimes I have to force myself even when I'm tired, because I know that if I don't do it today, who knows when I'll be able to do it or have a moment. So sometimes when I'm dog tired, I'm still in the bathroom doing self-care, or I'm still trying to get some self-care in, because I know that it's important to me, and I have delegated that time and made it a priority. This kind of piggybacks off of the question that I asked, that was asked earlier. Would you be okay if the older kids wanted to start a YouTube or TikTok, knowing what you know now about the crazy world of social media? So I've said this before, and I'm always afraid of my kids trying to do YouTube or social media in general, because I am afraid of what the internet could do to my kids' innocence, and that's just simple. So even though some of my kids do watch TikTok, they're like private accounts, they're not allowed to post things like that. And Cadence has a TikTok, she's old enough, and I still monitor her. I hope that answers that question. Do you or any of your kids watch anime? If so, which titles? That's a good one. I don't watch anime, but Kingston watches anime, Cash watches anime, Junebug watches anime, and they watch One Piece. They watch this new one, I can't remember what it's called, but they watch a lot of the different animes, but I know One Piece is one of them, and I know One Piece has like 1 million episodes, so they're still working on that. That says, how come you have all of your kids except for the one that is with his dad? And I know I have a lot of new subscribers who I haven't really explained this to, but I feel like most of you kind of got the gist of it up until now. But basically what it is, long story short, is I share custody with his dad, and his primary residence is with his father during the school year. I get him on summer breaks and all school breaks, and we alternate holidays, major holidays. So that's basically why we went to court, we hashed it out, and that was the decision that the judge gave. And it had nothing to do with my parenting, it had nothing to do with me having other kids, it had nothing to do with any of that. Last but not least, a lot of you guys have been bugging about Rod. I've been getting so many questions, comments, concerns about Rod and our relationship and the status of it, when we're getting married, if we're getting married, where is Rod, are we still together, and all kinds of different questions. And at the end of the day, you guys, here's the thing. I have had to learn the hard way sometimes to STFU. Sometimes you have to understand that people do not have your best interest at heart. They do not want to see you win. They do not care, whatever. You know, they don't care, whatever. And because of recent events where I've had a lot of issues with people, you know, doing really ridiculous things to my family, I have chosen to not speak on my relationship at this time. Unfortunately, a lot of the things that I was open with, I'm not open with anymore, and it's just gonna have to be like that for right now, and y'all just gonna have to trust your girl, okay? And I know you guys wanna come with me, you guys wanna plan with me, you guys wanna go wedding shopping with me, and I know you guys wanna do all those fun girly little things with me, but we're gonna have to wait for a while and put some things on the back burner, and kind of pump the brakes on some things just for the safety of my family and things like that. So, you know, I just ask you guys to respect respect that, and I know that it's difficult because I know a lot of y'all love Rod and you want to see him, you want to know the updates, and you know, I really wish that I could update you and share a lot of these things with you, but I really just can't right now. But I promise you that when the time is right, that I will start to talk to you guys more and open up more about it as I see appropriate. But just right now is not the time. I hope you guys enjoyed this Q&A. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Hit a like for your girl, because it's free and it don't cost you nothing. And I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.